Welcome to the Network Engineering Video Blog. I'm your host, Michael Crane. Today we're going to talk about resetting or recovering, resetting the root password in our Juniper M5 router. As you may recall, I purchased this router on eBay a while back, and they did not blow away the config in it. So today I'm going to recover the root password. Well, not actually recover, but reset it to where we can log into it. And then I'm also going to just blow away the config because we don't want a bunch of old config stuck in there. So, and I debated whether I should do this video or not. It's really pretty simple. All you do is you console into the router, you boot it up, and I think there's just like 2 or 3 commands, and boom, you're in as root. But anyway, today we're just going to reset the root password, and then we're going to reset the config to factory defaults. So let's get started. Okay, so first off, let's take a quick look at the cables. Yes, I am using a Cisco console cable here. You can tell by the blue. I believe this cable is a rollover cable. So with the Juniper, the M5 we have, it has a DCE console port. And so most laptops also have a DCE console port. And you can kind of tell because it'll have like the male connector instead of the female connector like this. So your laptop will have something like this. Of course, no laptops have DB9s anymore, but the older ones did. Anyway, so what we're looking to do is since we're going from a DCE to DCE, what we need is we need a rollover, and that's what this cable does. It's the Cisco console is also a DCE, so they roll over this cable, so you can talk to it. So we need this rollover cable, and then we also need this DB9 adapter, and this is a straight through adapter. But anyway, it's a let's see if I can show it to you. Well, I don't know if it focused in on that, but anyway, it's a Cisco 74-0495-01 RJ45 to DB9 adapter. And then we also need, for all the newer laptops, a standard DB9 to USB adapter. And then this over here is just a USB cable extender that I use in the lab here. So these are the 3 components that we need. You could build this using other different kind of components. You know, you could have a DB9 straight through cable with a rollover or what they call a null modem on them. So because when 2 DCE or 2 DTE devices talk to each other, you have to roll the transmit and receive. So okay, that's enough about the cables. Let's get started. Okay, so to get started, we're going to need a putty session. And to keep this short, I'm not going to go through setting up putty and that sort of stuff. But basically, you know, when you plug in your USB adapter, right? You go to your device manager on a Windows machine, go to COM ports, and then see what USB it's on, right? Then you come over to your putty, and you say it's a serial, it's COM7, it's 9600, no parity, 8 bits, and 1 stop bit or something like that. I'd have to, let's go here. Yeah, speed 9600, 8 data bits, 1 stop bit, no parity. All right. So let's go ahead and open this up. And oh, by the way, I am following this guide right here. I'll put a link to this guide in the comments of this video so you can look at it, and it's actually got its own video And that's why I was almost didn't do this video, because this is so easy, but I figured for completeness, why not? So, and you can read through all this stuff. Basically, we're going to plug into our console, right? We're going to power it up, and then we're going to wait till we see this in the boot messages, so we can hit the space bar to get the command prompt. So let me go fire this up, and we'll sit here and wait. Now, don't get confused with press delete to enter setup. That is not the correct. This is not the correct time to try to stop the boot sequence. All right. So hopefully I got it fast enough. Let's see here. Yep, I missed it. Okay, so let's try that again. Okay, I went ahead and rebooted it, and I'm going to keep my hand on the space bar so I can catch it as soon as I see that message. Okay, so I was able to catch it this time. We're going to go ahead and do a boot -S on it. And just let it boot up into single user mode. Okay, so now we've got to this prompt right here, and we're going to just type in recovery. Okay, and now we're in the CLI, as you can tell by it saying it started the CLI. And that's step 13 here on our document. So now we're going to set the root password. And it's kind of interesting, it actually has instructions right here. So it's going to tell us to, let's see, once in the CLI, you need to enter configuration mode using configure. Which, yeah, I don't really see that in here, but you can tell by this edit right here that you need to be in the configuration. Oh, it says it right here, configuration mode in the CLI. It just doesn't give you the command. So, okay, we're just going to enter configure. Okay, so now we're in the configuration edit mode. And I'm just gonna copy and paste this whole thing. All right, and the new password is going to be Juniper 1. Juniper 1. All right, and now we're going to do a commit and 2 exits. So that's very handy, very nice of them to help us out like that. And it's right here in the document too. You can see it's so we entered the new password, second prompt, re-enter the password, commit, exit configuration mode in CLI, exit operational mode. It's just exit. That's the 2 exits right here. That looks very interesting. That's actually the old host name of this. I'm wondering. Very interesting. Anyway, so we're going to do an exit, reboot. Okay, so I went ahead and rebooted it, and it booted up, and so we're going to log in as root, and the password that we just set is Juniper 1. Okay, and in that last segment, you notice it had a host name, and now the host name is gone, because if you type in host name, you can see it has none. It was very strange. It was like it found an old host name, even though I have already cleared the config in this router, and we'll take a look at it. So you just type in CLI to get to the JunOS command line interface to show config, and as you can see, there's nothing in here. And yeah, because I've already blown away the config in this thing. I just wanted to go ahead and do a video showing you how to do it for completeness. And so anyway, let me show you how to blow away the config. Since we're talking about it, I'll put a link to this document in the comments under the video. But we're going to use this right here, the reverting to factory default configuration by using, there we go, by using the load factory default command. And they've got this other command. I've never used the JunOS command. So yeah, I don't really know what that is. I've always used this load factory default, and I do believe it works on pretty much every Juniper router. And so anyway, and you can read about it if you want to. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go into so you go into the CLI, and then you go into configure. Okay. And then you just pop in this load factory default command. All right. And then it tells you to use this command right here, but this command does not work on mine, and it's probably because it's super old, the operating system. But as you can see, it doesn't like factory settings. Delete system, commit factory settings. It doesn't like that, and I'm not even sure what this is for. It says if you're using procedure, you must delete system, commit factory settings, set the root password, and commit the configure. These steps are not required when you revert to factory default configuration by using the JunOS command. But I know that I can skip this without having any problems. So, and what's funny about it is if you read this procedure right here, it says the load factory default command is standard, blah, 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 and it says it replaces the current active configuration with the factory default config, except the root password, which is not the case, because so I've already loaded the factory default. If I try to do a commit right here, it says missing mandatory statement root authentication. So it actually does blow away the root password. So yeah, I don't know. This might be a newer version of software this is for. But anyway, so we have to set the root password again, which is not that big of a deal. Just copy and paste it. And it's Juniper 1. Juniper 1. All right. And now we do a commit. And yeah, you can do this. I didn't do it. I just, as soon as I did that, I'm done. So we're going to do an exit, and now I'm just going to do a reboot, and it should come right up. Okay, so it booted back up, and we are good to go. So I was able to log in, and I noticed we have an alarm. We'll have to fix that in another video. So anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments under the video, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. And I will see you next time.